playing a little Egg Mania here on my Game Boy Advance, and well, it's got eggs in it, so of course I've been getting a little bit hungry, so I thought I'd cook up some eggs while I do my review here and tell you about this game. Now, the cool thing about this game, it's kind of like a cross between Tetris and Rampart, because you got your little egg dudes, and they're bouncing around. They're hopping in between things. It's kind of split in the middle, and they're getting all these puzzle shapes falling from the sky. You know, I mean, it happens in real life too. And basically what you do, I'm going to turn this down here a little bit. Basically what you do is, as the egg dude, you jump up in the air, and you grab the puzzle shapes, and you hold them in your hands, and you throw them down, and you start building your lines. And you keep building the lines, and you get higher and higher. And the object of the game is to reach the top and reach the little hot air balloon before your enemy egg dude does. The whole graphics setup for the game is very cutesy and kid-friendly, kid-oriented. It's got a great multiplayer mode. You don't even need extra cartridges either. You can just use one cartridge, just link up a couple Game Boy Advances, and you're playing together. There's a bunch of different modes in there. The thing that makes the game special, though, apart from the fact that it's Tetris in reverse, is the fact that you've got all these really cool power-ups. You can actually get these bombs and throw bombs on your egg enemy guy and blow him up. There's hammers, there's lightning bolts, there's also all kinds of little extra objects flying in from all off screen and everything. And those things add all kinds of extra elements of strategy to the gameplay. It's really fun. It's almost like a fighting game mixed in with a puzzle game. I had a tremendous amount of fun playing with this game because it's so unique. It's not another 2D side-scrolling action-adventure game on the Game Boy Advance, which we've had way too many of. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think you guys should check out Egg Mania. It's for the Game Boy Advance. I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. Okay, we're back, and we're going to talk about Robotech Battlecry from TDK for the Xbox. What did you think of this one?
There's three parts of the game. You can fly,
right,
and then you can be the kind of Robotech mech thingy,
right,
and then there's that half-breed thing where you can like half fly and
you're hunched over, yeah,
walk in,
I know, it looks very uncomfortable
kind of thing. Now the graphics, they went with the whole kind of Robotech, you know, cartoon style graphic thing.
They used the actual look of Robotech to make the game.
Right.
Good decision.
There you go. They got those cool kind of cartoony smoke cloud things.
Yes. That's my favorite graphical part of the game.
Well, that's where it about ends, isn't it? To have more attention to detail, you know, like when you're in the city, for example, there's cars in the road, but they don't even move,
right?
And forget that they don't even look like cars; they look like little boxes. You're able to walk right through them
and walk through the fences,
and you can't pick them up or crush them. There's fences; you just walk right through the fences.
Major collision detection problems.
And you've heard us talk about invisible walls before,
right?
We got a new one.
Yeah, invisible ceilings.
Invisible ceilings now we have to complain about.
The mech can fly up. You have turbo thrusters on his feet, which is cool, but he's got a ceiling, so he can only get so far.
It's a very structured game.
You're on land or you're in the sky. You can switch between the different mechs, but I'll tell you something, when you're 6 inches off of the ground, you don't want to be a jet.
See, that's the problem I had, though, is that when you're flying this thing, it really doesn't feel like you're traveling and flying. It just feels like
especially in the sky.
Sprites.
Yeah, in the sky, because the sky is just white, you know, wild blue yonder. There's no sort of way to judge how far you're moving. And all of the air-to-air sort of dogfights that take place are really just cursors, you know. You're just looking at cursors floating all over the place.
Oh, there goes a big red one. You know, there goes a big blue circle.
You're pressing
There's a red circle. I do like the way they have the 3D map going on.
Yes.
When you're flying around, it's always hard to tell in these maps if the guy's above you or below you. But what they have here is you not only do you have the ship, but it's actually raised above or below depending on how close you are.
There are some neat levels, though, where you're battling giant sort of capital ships, and then you've got all these little battles offside of them with the smaller guys. What I don't like about this game as well is that it doesn't give you the sense of any sort of magnitude with these giant robots.
Exactly.
You don't feel like you're a giant robot.
Totally.
They look just like guys in suits, which is the way that The old movies used to be shot.
Yeah. No,
So,
just checking this out. This is, oh my God.
Oh,
I'm just looking at this. It's a bike.
it's a bicycle. It's a model bicycle.
It's like a model bike.
Okay, put it back.
Oh.
I'm going to give it a 5.5.
Okay, I'm giving it a 4.5. It was almost average.
On the positive side, we do like the 3D look of the 2D anime world of Robotech. Switching between the 3 different versions of the mech is really cool. My favorite part in the game, though, is the cartoon smoke.
On the negative side, the attention to detail just isn't here. I want to be able to pick up cars and throw them at people. We thought invisible walls were bad. Wait till you try invisible ceilings. And finally, you just don't get a sense of being in this big mech and traveling around the world.
As you probably know, there's a lot of families out there that are GameCube owners, and a lot of these families have young children that like to play video games on their GameCubes, and sometimes the hands are just too small for those Nintendo controllers, so Mad Catz has come to the rescue, and they developed a new controller. It's called the Microcon, and this Microcon controller is 20% smaller than the GameCube's pack-in controller.
As a matter of fact, it's so small, I've actually had one down my pants for the entire review. No, I'm not even joking. Look at this. I got the.
I believe you.
I'm telling the truth here.
This has to be washed now.
This is the Microcon.
I'm so proud of you, Tommy. Anyone have disinfectant spray of any kind?
And the cool thing about the Microcon is
someone hose him down.
Is that you actually there's a macro button, see, and you press the macro button and you can program. For all you cheaters out there who need a macro button, this is the one to do.
Oh, I think it's pretty funny that there is a macro button on there, because what's that saying to the kids? Learn to cheat early. So anyways, the Microcon is 20% smaller than the Nintendo controller. It has little rubberized grips on the side, and it's got all the regular buttons that you would find, the left and R trigger buttons and the kidney-shaped buttons, only they're small kidneys now. It's going to cost you somewhere around $15, and I think it's worth it. Mad Catz has been making some great controllers for all the consoles over the past little while, and this little mini-con is actually a great idea. So what are you going to do? You going to recommend this guy?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend him too.
On the positive side, it has a macro button so you can cheat. For all you small people out there like me, it's very ergonomical. And finally, it fits down your pants quite nicely.
On the negative side, this controller fits down Tommy's pants. After this, we're going to talk about the Terminator, the Dawn of Fate for the Xbox.